Hi there, crafty friends. Welcome and thank you for joining me. My name is Melissa, and today I want to make a more feminine, dainty card. I have been making a lot of cutesy or, holiday type cards lately, and today I want to make a dainty, feminine card. So we are going to be doing a lot of hot foiling on this one. So let's go ahead and get started with our main panel here. So what I did was let me show you. We are using Spellbinders, and I was kind of inspired by a card I saw at the post office, and I will show that to you. I'll put it on the screen real quick. But I have varied quite a bit. It was more of a hot pink, and when I tried a pink frame, it just didn't give me the feeling that I wanted. So I went with the more white background, but we're going to do some ink blending. First, I'm going to show you what we're using. We are using the Diamond Floral frame, and I'm using the frame and the floral images and the leaves. And then I also pulled 2 flowers from the Foliage Border, and we're going to hot foil those. We will also be using the Hello Dear Friend hot foil plate. So let's go ahead. I have all of my pieces here. We've got our cutting dies, we've got our hot foil pieces. Let me get those turned over for you so you can see them. But first, that's a hot foil, that's a hot foil. But first, I want to see what I think about having the edge of this ink blended. So we're going to actually do 2 panels. I'm going to bring in my Pinkfresh Ballet slipper, and let's get some ink on one of these panels first. So we will do it here. We're going to let's get a little bit of ink on there just to see. Now we are going to cut out the center, but I want to see what it'll look like with a little bit more color on there. And we don't need to do the whole thing. See, that's going to add more color around the diamond shape. We may not use it, we may not like it, but I want to see. All right, so that should be good. So what I need to do now is, this is my hot foiled diamond, and I'm going to be very fussy here because I want to make sure that I get this right in the center. So this needs to go up a little bit. We should have 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Yes, we do. So let's see. Now this, I'm just going to fuss with this a little bit here. All right, that should be good. So now we need to take some tape, and we are going to do a hinge method. I've got that right where I want it. Hold that down, and I'm only putting tape on the die. So then we can lift this up. So my color of foil for this outside border was the gold. I am using the champagne actually. So we need a small little piece of this. Let's get that placed under there. That's way too big, so we can trim some of that off. And then we will use the excess for our sentiment, or even the middle of it. Okay, so now that whole area has foil under it. And we'll just trim off the excess. And we can put this on our hot foil machine. So my timer is solid. That means we can pull this out of there. And we can put our plates on there and run it through our die cutting machine. So let's see how that turned out. Ooh, that's hot. So just a little bit hot. And that is perfect. And I think that looks pretty good with that pink in there. Even though we're going to cut out the middle, I am going to let this get warm again, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. So we can choose from a solid or the ink blended panel. So I went ahead and I took the coordinating die and I cut the center out of each of our panels so that we can go ahead and move on. We'll put that aside. And now we need to hot foil our flowers and our leaves. So what I did was I brought in my machine and I set everything up. So we've got all our flowers in one area. I've got 5 flowers and I've got 5 leaves. And we kind of want to leave a little space there so we can die cut, because it's really a lot easier when you can die cut all at once. So give them a little room around each one. And so for my flowers, I die cut a group in Tangerine, I believe this is. Tangerine foil, a group in the bright pink foil, and a group in that gold. But for just to show you, we're only going to do one color. So let me get a little bit of green foil. And a little bit of pink foil. We'll put our timer on there. And I don't want them to shift too much. So we're going to hold off on putting that foil on there until the timer goes off. Our timer has gone off. I have pulled the platform out and I am going to put my foil on there, and then we will put our cardstock and we will run it through the die cutting machine. Let's see what we got. I am so excited. These always turn out so good. And that's perfect. We did get a little overfoiling on our green, but that's okay because we are going to die cut them. And we can just take our eraser and get those off. Let's see what we got on our flowers. The pink foil always works really well. And there we go. We have all of our flowers, a little overfoiling, but that's okay because we can hide that. So now we need, goodness, these are hot. I don't know where my magnet is. Let's work on a little bit more foiling. So we need to figure out, let's see if these are the same. Yes, they are. We need to figure out where we want our dear friend, and we will be doing another little flap on here. I think that's too small. There we go. We will be doing the hinge method again. That looks pretty good right there. We may want it up just a tad. So let's bring back in our T ruler. I cannot live without this thing. Make sure it's nice and straight. We don't want a crooked sentiment. And then we can lift that up and put our foil in there. We are using the pink foil. I just need a little sliver for this. I will go ahead and hot foil that. And while that timer is getting ready, we also need to hot foil our hello. Oh, it looks like I've got one already done in the pink. That is so pretty. So you know what? I'm not going to do another one because you guys have seen me hot foil quite a bit already. And what I did was I took the coordinating die and I cut that out. I cut out 3 extras. So that is our hot foiled sentiment, and actually it might just be 2, so they're stacked. So it gives it some dimension. So let's look and see what we got. I did it wrong. Darn it. I foiled my plate, but that's okay because I even did the wrong color. So let's try again. Shiny side down. I foiled my plate and my tape there. Gosh darn it. Lesson learned. I've done that before. Let's see if 3rd time is a charm. Oh my goodness, that's perfect. And if you have any problems with your tape, kind of roll it off. Don't just yank it up. Kind of push it back on itself and it'll come right up. And that is perfect. I just love that. So let's see. Are we going to like... I don't know if I like that or not. So we've got our flowers. I did 1 in the pink, 1 in the tangerine, and then 1 in the gold. And I took my blending brush and I'm just giving each set of flowers just the slightest little hint of color without using a lot of color. I just want them to have a little hint of color. And then I die cut each one out. I found the coordinating dies. So I just got everything placed and then I cut all of them out. And then we have a whole bunch of flowers and leaves to work with. Oh, look, here's another hello that's already prepped for us. So now we need to decide if we want to use, oh, but we have to splatter. Let's get our splatter out. My goodness, I'm just having an awful time today. So I've got my splatter box out. We're going to splatter a little gold and a little pink. So we're going to put some water on there and splatter. Let's get everything out of the way though, because I have a tendency to get splatter where it doesn't belong. Now we have both panels splattered along with everything else in the vicinity. Dear friend, here's our dear friend. I put it on the other side so it wouldn't get splattered. Let's decide if we want ink blended or not ink blended. And I think we will go with the ink blended just because we have one that's not ink blended, and then we can decide what we like better. So I added some dimension behind my panel. We can go ahead and add this to our dear friend, and I am going to do my very best to get this on there straight, just like that, and that's perfect. So now let's add our hello, and this is already stacked, so it's got dimension. So let's just add that in there, kind of center that. We're going to bring back in our ruler and make sure that is nice and straight. Give it a little pressure, and that's good. So we've got our pink hello and our Gold Dear Friend, and that is looking beautiful. Let's bring back in our die cut pieces and figure out what we want. So now that most of our pieces are flipped right side up, let's take a look. We want a pink one and a yellow one. We're just going to vary the different colors. Let's get an orange one. My goodness. We can put an orange one over here. And we will be using some dimension. Let's get all of our foliage in there also. Now that we've got it all laid out, we can take and put all our extra pieces away, and we can save these for next time. And let's go ahead and start assembling. So for all of my middle flowers, I put them on a piece of foam square. For this one, we'll use 2 because it is a bigger flower. And we can just start attaching our middle ones and then put everything else around it. So all my center pieces are attached, and now we will just glue everything down. And we do need to do some trimming. I trimmed off a little bit of my foliage here so it fits under there nicely. And there you have it. We are almost done. I got all my flowers and foliage glued on there. So now let's add some bling. I'm not sure if I like it with or without the ink blending. My goodness, they both look nice. So for my bling, I brought in my Pinkfresh Studio. I have the gold gems here and some of the glitter drops in blush. And I still have splatters all over my hands. So over here, I smeared one of my drops. So I'm going to cover that up. Let's see, we can put a few over here. Let's do a little trio. Please let me know which one you like best. Do you like the ink blended or do you like the white? Leave me a comment. I would appreciate it. We've got our trio. Everything that I have used today will be listed and linked in the description below. This is the fussy work. This is the fussy part. But it's so pretty when it's done. There we go. I have my bling all glued down, and this is a feminine dainty card. It really doesn't look anything like the card that inspired me, but I'm still pretty happy with it. Isn't that pretty? So which one do you like better? All I have to do is add this to a card base and I can mail it off. Do you like the ink blended version or the not ink blended version? Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.